Good evening, everyone. It's Jazz. It's Tuesday evening. It's under the floodlights. It's a London derby. It's probably the second opponent, perhaps, that we look at the fixtures when the fixtures are out. What I think Man United is the one all of you look forward to the most by a few percent, and then it's Spurs. So, really, yeah, I wish I was there. I wish I was there. It was under the floodlights. It was zippy. It was wet. It was miserable. It was a brilliant London derby. I really enjoyed that. It was end to end. Both teams gave it all. It was a wonderful atmosphere. Seemed like watching it from home. So well done to the fans. Virtual sellout. So I'm really happy. I really enjoyed a really good game of football, I think. Okay, few things here and there. Maybe a bit of high level of finishing skill was missing from both teams, but I think we pitched up really well. I'm pretty proud of the players. I'm pretty proud of David Moyes. And yeah, he didn't have any subs to bring on, everyone. I don't think there's any subs we made. I might be wrong. They made all the ones they could make, 4, 5, 6, or wherever they're allowed. But in summary, I really enjoyed that end to end. Lots of shots, lots of action, lots of miss hitters, lots of fouls. And yeah, we'll go into the chat, but I'm really happy about that. Obviously, we'll go into some of my notes of what went on. But in summary, the Antonio miss, we'll talk about that. That is my main headline, my main thumbnail is the Antonio sitter. But that's Antonio, isn't it? That's Antonio when he has to think he's not that good, right? So it is a poor miss. I think a lot of the pundits, I think Paul Merson is having a go at him. So I think that'll be the headlines tomorrow. It's certainly the main headline for me. Apart from loving the game and not really want to have a go at anyone in our team. And I really enjoyed it. So well done Tottenham. Well done West Ham. I think the Antonio sitter, I think that'll be the main thing. And for once, everyone, there's not really anything to talk about the ref or the VAR. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but top of my head, I thought the ref was all right for a change. I don't really remember anything too naughty, apart from a few things. So overall, I think the ref was all right. VAR are plonkers, but they weren't called upon. And we'll go into it a bit more. So let's see what's happening. Nah, don't worry about that, mate. Hope you're doing good. Don't worry about that today. Yeah, see, you're all like me. I'm very happy. That's all we want. That's all we want, isn't it? Leave it all out there. Reasonable energy, reasonable tenacity. And listen, they were more zippier than us. They were faster than us, Spurs. Younger team. Used to playing like that all season. We are not, right? We're used to playing a bit slowly. So well done to the West Ham players who know there is no squad, no bench. They're not going to get any respite, but they left it all out there. And I think they had to after the Newcastle the weekend, and even in the press conference you could tell that David Moyes was pissed, he was angry, he wanted the team to, and I remember I haven't seen him that animated on the touchline either. Moisey was in there, mate, with his baseball cap on, giving it all that. So Moisey was like really passionately involved as well as the fans, so clap to everyone really. Bang on, mate, absolutely. It was, wasn't it, Colin? I think that's what football's about, isn't it? So look at the smile in my face. Okay, we didn't win, but as I always tell you about West Ham and me, it's just play a bit like that. You know, give it. I know man to man. Actually, they came into the game in better form. They're in the top 4, aren't they? Champions League form. Yeah, look at their sub bench. And they 4 or 5 changes they made. I mean, Richarlison's about 53 million on his own, as well as all the other players they had. We didn't have anyone. I'm really proud of the players. And we'll get into the highlights as much as we can later on, but let's just enjoy it and go through the comments and see how you... It was end to end, mate. They were coming at us. We were trying to come at them as and when we could. Obviously, because they had a lot more skill, they did hold on to a lot more, Chris. But I think overall, we gave them a game, mate. We tested them, and yeah, we just missing. Yeah, the finishing was missing, wasn't it? In a few things, mate. Yeah, I mean, but did Fabianski really have much to do, mate? I don't think so. I think they were both really nicely matched, right? I think they were slightly overall more confident, more zippier the way they were playing. They were going to have more of the ball. I think if you look at the stats, mate, the possession, yeah, it's going to be the odd 65-35, the normal, isn't it? But I think it didn't feel like that. Obviously, we had to defend deep sometimes. Of course, we're going to do that because it's just the way it is, isn't it? But I think, especially with Fabianski coming in, and yeah, listen, our back four, Zuma's got to carry the knee, scored a wonderful goal, and Kufal Emerson, tough game against. Yeah, but I think we did well. I think Werner had a quiet game. He didn't really have much to offer apart from the assist for the first goal, and we kept a lot of their players quiet. So I'm really proud because it's not an easy team to play. Tottenham been winning for most of the season. Yeah, Pam, I'm happy with that. Happy with that. No, I don't remember much, mate. I don't know. I think he was all right. I think he was all right. I don't know about that. Yeah, I mean, 15 million is the clause for Werner, which is quite good. Squad player, he's all right. I mean, it's up to them what they want to do with it. I think he's played in most of the games since the January window when he came in. He's got a couple of goals, couple of assists, but he was certainly a lot quieter, really. Yeah, that's what I thought, mate. Which is kind of normal for us, isn't it? But I think I'm happy with the point. We didn't want one of those 6-0 Arsenal nights, which God, well, I was thinking about that last night a little bit, really. But if I go through what I saw in my notes and the highlights, then we'll jump in back into the chat. Yeah, very early goal, wasn't it? Zuma caught a bit watching as a defender, as the organizer at the back, could have done a bit more. Yeah, Werner got in there. Johnson put it away. But before their first goal, I thought we started well. I thought we were physical. We were getting close to them. We were snapping at their heels. And I like that start because normally, yeah, I know we went 1-0 down early, but I didn't think the start was that bad. But yeah, we did go 1-0 down. And I think one of the stats, everyone, was that it's been about 11 games since our last clean sheet, which was the Brighton 0-0 game. So it's been a while. And I was just thinking in my mind, first 15-20 minutes, even the commentators were saying we're weak in the CDM area, isn't it? The back four, they're kind of up and down anyway, but they're not really getting any protection from Ward-Prowse and Souček. That Ward-Prowse and Souček are not getting close to their kind of attacking players. So I think in the central midfield area, those 15-20 minutes, certainly, I think Spurs were on top, and that's the key area where we were losing it. And again, I was thinking, look how important Alvarez is. Alvarez is so important. I reckon he plays in these two games, Newcastle and Spurs, and I reckon we get more points. Alvarez is too important for us, really. 19 minutes, everyone. Didn't have to wait long. Bowen started to take corners, which was quite unique. I thought Ward-Prowse would do that, and he wasn't too bad on the night. He got the assist. It kind of hung in there. And yeah, Spurs not that good at defending either. Zuma went back of his head, didn't it? Back of on the back, it came off a 1-1. And yeah, luckily no VAR issue, no offside issue. And the stats up to that point, everyone, was that Bowen is one goal away from getting 20 goals, which will kind of match up or get nearer to what Harewood done. So Bowen is one goal away from 20 goals in all competitions, really. And then after 30 minutes, Johnson cross. Werner could have got anything onto that. It could have gone in, and Werner had one of those nights after that. He didn't make any effort to get on the end of that Johnson cross after 30 minutes. And then another thing I noticed, everyone, is that when we play Arsenal, we always get Alan Smith as commentator, and then tonight was Glenn Hoddle. But I got nothing against Glenn Hoddle. I love him to bits. What a wonderful player he was in his time. Typical West Ham skillful player. And he never says anything. Oh, I can handle Glenn Hoddle. But it was quite funny how they can't get... I mean, all right, in the studios, I think half time they do have Joe Cole floating about, so I'll give them that. TNT, they're a bit better than Sky, but Sky usually have Alan Smith if I'm kind of right, isn't it? Really. 42 minutes, everyone. Who remembers the Paqueta, the huge Paqueta shoulder barge on Maddison? He nearly ripped Maddison's shoulders off. I'll tell you what, Alvarez and Paqueta, I'm a bit like that with them too sometimes. I do love the physical things, but I am so worried about them getting sent off, them getting booked. And if you remember, Paqueta went to shake Maddison's hand, and Maddison said, "No, I don't want to shake your hand," which doesn't happen often in football, miserable little git. The fans sort of clocked onto that, and they booed him continuously after that. So that was a kind of... I did love it. I love all that kind of... But I'm still kind of worried. I don't want any bookings, so that's kind of one of those. And the other thing I noticed was Antonio and Van der Ven, whatever his name is. Great physical battle that was, isn't it? I think that most of their defenders, Spurs, are rapping, aren't they? And that was a great physical battle. Romero's giving it a bit to Antonio. Antonio's trying to give it back. Obviously, I think Antonio's hit 34 now, so you could tell it's kind of gradually declining for him, certainly in terms of stamina and running around and pressing and that kind of thing. But physically, when he's standing up to the players with his back against the kind of the goal, there's not many better like him, really. So really, really good. 48 minutes, everyone. Paqueta, he tried to curl it into the top left-hand corner, and it just wouldn't curl back in enough. So that was kind of missed from there. And 60th minute, everyone, was the Antonio sitter. I kind of didn't have any confidence when he's clean through because he often doesn't score. And he didn't. And I think when you look back, it's quite a key moment in the game. And that goes back to, again, when you've got a striker, technically a striker, Ivan Toney would have put it back in the net. Calvin Lewin would have put it back in the net. Solanke would have put it back in the net more often than not. And it's these games that I keep telling you, the big games, the business end side of the games, when you're quite close, it's that 1 minute of magic, that technical skill, why goal scorers cost so much. That's the difference. And even on the bench, we didn't have anyone to bring on. Danny Ings comes on instead of Antonio. It doesn't make any difference for me. Ings struggles up front on his own. So this is what we've got to battle with to the end of the season. 1 point against Newcastle and Spurs. Seems a bit harsh. Seems like we should have got at least maybe a draw at the weekend, but it is what it is. We've got to get these things out of our system, and hopefully tonight the confidence is fairly back in. I must say we started on the front foot, so I didn't see any kind of low confidence in West Ham. I saw that Moyes has definitely motivated them, or was it naturally that the West Ham Tottenham brings that out of a lot of players? Antonio loves playing against them. Tottenham, as you know, really. And then apart from that, did you guys notice how every Spurs player was trying to smash Bowen's ankles to bits? He was getting done. And I think I don't know if they noticed something about him, but his ankles got smashed 3-4 times, and luckily he was there, really. I mean, apart from that, the last 15-20 minutes, there was not really any clear-cut chance. It was just, yeah, they did have more of the ball in the last 15-20 minutes. I give them that. We kind of went back a bit, and that's probably to do with, I don't know, the Newcastle game wasn't that many days ago. We're not as young as the Tottenham team, and we can't change as much as they can, It's that kind of thing. So overall, I'm really happy. I enjoyed that. I think that was entertainment. I think the fans will be happy. You don't want to lose these type of games. You want to give 100% effort. And this is what you're going to see till the end of the season. The starting 11 is reasonably more than good. But in the key moments in the last 15-20 minutes of every game till the end of the season, everyone, it's going to be hard because we haven't got any subs to make any difference. And fingers are crossed that these 10-11 players we've seen tonight, they don't get injured, is it? That's key. If one of those 3-4 key players, like Alvarez, we've missed Alvarez big time. Definitely a key player for us, Souček, yeah, he's all right. I mean, but Alvarez is Alvarez, isn't he? He's an amazing player. He really helps the back four as much as, and that's kind of what it is, really. So let's have a look at the few comments before we close off. Maybe, mate, maybe. Cosmos, you're back in, mate. Yeah, he's happy. Yeah, I thought we're gonna, Souček kind of, you always see that Souček injury time, he just launches himself against a missile, anything going in and around the ground, isn't it, mate? Yeah, but listen, when he's got the ball at his feet, more often than not, he makes something happen. He's a magician. Really, really happy with everything, mate. Miserable sod, wasn't he? Hope you're doing good, mate. Maddison is what kind of haircut has he got? Look back at the replay. What kind of haircut? Something's gone wrong. It's when you go on a hen night and you get like the hair clippers out and you do that to your mate. Have a look at Maddison's hair, and miserable git. Didn't want to shake Paqueta's hands, mate. We ain't gonna forget that, mate. Yeah, he's always does that, isn't it, John? He always got that side to his game where he'll lose it, but then he's ever so trying very, very hard to win it back. He's that kind of player, mate, isn't he? That kind of player, mate. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. There's that bit where perhaps Kudus was a little bit quieter than normal, and I thought Kudus was going to do something. You know, when someone's a really good player and not seen a lot of him in the game, or certainly up to his standards, I thought he's going to come out of nowhere and just do it because he's that kind of player. But yeah, it's a very physical game for him. Good battles. I think there's good one-to-one battles across the whole pitch. You know, Antonio against their centre-backs, Bowen against their full-backs, Kudus against their full-backs. I think it's a great matchup across the whole pitch. And you probably notice now, that's 2 games this season against Son, and Son's not really, so maybe at the age of, I don't know what he is, 30, 31 now, Son is declining a bit, certainly against West Ham. In years gone by, I used to wear my nappies watching Son. He used to scare the shit out of me. But last 2 games, we've kept him reasonably caged in, which is kind of quite good, really. Yeah, that's it, mate. That's it. Back to the 85-86, isn't it? Do you reckon? Kudos was out. I think you can't pick someone out like that. I think Bowen was really, really good, but Quetta was in the middle of the action. Ward-Prowse and Souček came in and out the game. I think it's kind of a team performance. Yeah, but what it is, all I'm saying is Kudus' standards are so high. His standards are so high. I'm not expecting a goal and assist from him every game. But yeah, definitely he didn't lose the ball much. He was just very physical. As soon as he got there, they were onto him. And then when they had it, he was onto them. It's just, there wasn't much, not much manoeuvre for Kudus in this game. But yeah, he gave as good as he got. I'll get that. Newcastle. Yeah, 88th minute penalty, wasn't it, Brian? I did see that flash up on the screen, mate. I'm beginning to like Mavropanos, inch at a time, 1 inch at a time. certainly. Listen, you can certainly tell he's a good lad. He would never hide from any situation, like unlike my thoughts about Ergerd. But yeah, really happy with them, mate. Really happy. Yep, that's it, mate. That's it. Let's go. All right, mate. All right, mate. Yeah, they haven't got the guts, have they? The linesman and the VAR. They don't want to help. They don't want to commit. So sometimes I do wonder why we got linesmen. You're absolutely right. But apart from that, if I have a look at the league tables, everyone, have a look at the league tables. So, yeah, Newcastle 1, Everton 1, Forest 3, Fulham 1, Bournemouth 1, Palace 0, Burnley 1, Wolves 1, West Ham 1, Spurs 1. If you look at the league tables, everyone, we have played a game more and 2 more than Man United. We're still 7th. Newcastle obviously got a game in hand. They're a point behind. Brighton have got 2 games in hand and 3 behind. So, yeah, we're still in 7th. If you have a look at the fixtures, everyone, I'll give you the next 2 free fixtures quickly before we close off. We've got Wolves away. So, again, like Newcastle, they're in and around us, kind of. So, let's see what happens in that game. I think we're quite good away from home, certainly on the break. So, we'll see what that happens. Then, obviously, Leverkusen. In the Europa, so 2 away games and then home to Fulham and then Leverkusen. So Wolves, Fulham and Leverkusen twice, everyone. Wolves and Fulham, traditionally, I would always go into those games with respect. They're tricky. I mean, Fulham beat us 5-0 earlier on, didn't they? And Wolves, you never know what you're going to get with them. You know, we've been linked with Max Kilman. So it's a good chance for you guys to look at Max Kilman in this game, I think he's their captain, and he's very strongly linked with us. And I haven't followed him, so I'm not going to say anything. So we will see how that happens. Apart from that, I think Fulham, there's that centre-back who's going on the free transfer. I think Liverpool, all the big clubs are going around him. Tosin, something like that. So it's someone we could have looked at. So we'll see what happens with that. And yeah, so a couple of good London derbies coming in, really. Yeah, let's think about a game at a time. And the Premier League is so crazy, mate. You've seen scores like 4-3, 3-3, 2. It's madness. And often VAR adds another 10 minutes in each half. It's madness, mate. We don't know what's going to happen. And it's not really... I know we've let in the 3rd, 4th highest amount of goals in the league. But it's just that kind of league. No one's keeping a clean sheet. It's kind of... Yeah, how many we're going to score more than you, really. So I think that's what West Ham need to do. I think there's no point really trying to hope that we're going to get clean sheets. I can't see it. It hasn't happened in 11 games. I think our Our plus point, our strength is our front four. I include Antonio in that. Once one of those four doesn't play, it makes a huge difference. I go back to that stat where I don't think we've won when Paqueta hasn't played. And touchwood, I don't want to go through that moment, but if Bowen doesn't play, it would be equal missed, you know. So we've got to keep everyone fit. Hopefully, I think Alvarez is back now. Don't want him getting booked in Europa. Well, he probably will anyway. He probably will really. So let's see what happens to the lineup. I'll probably maybe Ward-Prowse will drop out of that to bring Alvarez in. I can't see Moisey not picking Souček in Europe. He's got a knack for goals in Europe, so we'll see how that goes. Apart from that, like I said, we don't have much on the bench. I don't see David Moyes picking Johnson or Mubama or Cornet, you know, I don't think so. Calvin Phillips, I do see him eventually coming back. I heard things like the club are helping him on the mental side of things. He was apparently seen signing autographs for children and fans before the game, and he did it quite a lot. So they're trying to help him and then hopefully do a bit, you know, apologise. Well, I don't know verbally if he will apologise, but try to just do some good things around the ground, meet some fans, sign things at the training ground in and around before the game, after the game, that kind of thing. So we'll see what happens. Quite surprised by David Moyes' press conference comments where he felt that he still believes that there's time and games for Calvin Phillips who rescues West Ham career. I'm very surprised by that. But listen, I'm not the manager. I'm not Calvin Phillips. I don't know what's going on in his mind. But I get a squeaky bum time when he comes on, you know. That's the problem. Centurion, how you doing, matey? I'm not afraid of Leverkusen. I always said that all we needed in this good team was a good bench and good subs, and I'm not afraid of anyone. And I reckon we would have done Newcastle, we would have done Burnley, we would have done Sheffield United, we would have done Spurs or close to, if we had like for like subs, like an Antonio type young guy to come on, and in one or two other positions. That's all we needed. That's why I get frustrated. I think we got a really, really okay, good starting 10, starting 11, but the season is such, you got to have a strong squad and bench. They brought on 4 or 5 players. Top of my head, someone was worth 20, 30 million Celso, 55, 50 million Richarlison. And the list just went on and then. Kloveski, I mean, he's worth 20, 30 at least or more. So that's what the modern game's about. It's about your squad. It's about your bench. It's about bringing the youngsters through. And that's kind of not happening regularly or as fluid as I would like. And that'll be at the end of the season where it's going to cost you when you're going to miss out. Hopefully not. If you do miss out on the European spot by a few points, you're going to look back and think, yeah, if I'd made that change, you know, that substitution, and then bought a couple of more players in the window and did that. That's what happens. You don't want to let the season end and then sit there with ifs and buts, and you don't want that. You want to give it 100% in every window, and so that you maximise your efforts and you maximise what you want to achieve at the season. Really, that's kind of my final thoughts on that. Yeah, that's all it is, mate. Our front 3, front 4 are a match for virtually anyone in the league. They're wonderful players, right? But it's just that it's human beings. You'd like to take them off after 70 minutes and get them more excited, more fresh for the next game. And Bowen's the type, he's probably carrying injury every game, but he doesn't let you can't tell the way he is, right? And that's not fair on the players. I think it's a long season and they're going to keep ploughing him into the ground week in, week out, game after game. They're going to get injured. They're going to look lethargic, and we're going to have a go at them. It's not the way to do things. I don't think any other club does that. We're certainly a big enough club to not do that. We do have money flying about. It's not as though we're kind of Sheffield United or Burnley with respect. We've got no money, so we just have to, you know, we've got superstars, captains of international teams, Premiership proven players all over our pitch. But what we need to do, as you know, is bring in some younger players. It's getting a bit old, the squad and the first team in some aspects of some positions, really. But that's what it's about, really. So yeah, I hope you're doing all right, mate. You're absolutely right. Before I go, again, I'm promoting Peter Singh. Really huge West Ham fan on Facebook. He runs a animal rescue place in a home in Portugal. He rescues a lot of abandoned dogs. I've seen the footage. Abandoned dogs come in with like damage to their eyes, their legs, their limbs. They haven't eaten. They look like they can't even stand up. He does all his thing on his own back out of his own money, and obviously he needs help. So on 8th of April, live on his Facebook page, he'll be doing a West Ham memorabilia auction. I might hopefully cover it on my channel, so please keep an eye on that, see what items are out there. I'm hoping to do a show with him before that, so we go through the lot, explain what items are out there, what the kind of starting prices, that kind of thing. So look out for Peter Singh on Facebook, huge West Ham fan and huge animal rescue guy who runs all that institution. Good man, he's good man. I don't know where in Portugal, but I'm hoping to do a show in the coming days, hopefully, once Peter's got time. He's obviously busy. Last time I was watching what he was doing, he's had 47 dogs sleeping in his lounge. He's mad. They're all like a family. He's got all these funny names for them. He's hilarious, right? And listen, hats off to him. I don't know how you. All we can do is do our little bit, isn't it? Give a few and then help out, give him some time and promote him, really. On Facebook, if you search for Peter Singh, like I've got the spelling update, hopefully you'll kind of see that. And then the charity that runs behind it, the details are updated, the registration number and the website. So hopefully you do. If you don't, pass me a message on Twitter and I'll double check. But last time I had a look, I'm sure it's there, hopefully. So that's it from me. Hope you guys have a nice evening, and I've certainly enjoyed today's game. And on to the next one. Again, thanks for kind of reaching out and kind of watching and your views, obviously, really. So yeah, you take care. I'll catch up with you next couple of days then. Take care. Bye.